It's Friday evening, your phone buzzies, a group chat lights up, someone's organizing a last-minute get-together, drinks, loud music, 20 people you sort of know. And instead of feeling excited, you feel this quiet little dread settle into your chest. Not because you hate people, not because something is wrong with you, but because somewhere deep inside, all you actually want is to go home, make something warm to drink, and just be alone. Sound familiar? Here's what's interesting. Most people would look at that reaction and call it shyness, or anxiety, or being antisocial. But psychology tells a very different story. What you're experiencing might simply be introversion, and not just any kind. The kind where solitude isn't an escape from life. It's where your life actually happens. Today we're exploring 10 signs that you're an introvert who genuinely, deeply loves being alone. And by the end of this, I think you'll see that what the world sometimes calls a flaw is actually one of the most quietly powerful ways a human mind can be wired. Let's start with energy, because this is where introversion lives at its core. Psychologist Carl Jung, who basically gave us the introvert-extrovert framework a century ago, said that introverts draw energy inward. For extroverts, other people are like a charging cable. For you, other people, even wonderful ones, are more like running an app in the background. Enjoyable, sometimes necessary, but draining. Solitude is your charger. If you've ever come home after a social event, even a good one, and felt completely hollowed out, that's not rudeness. That's neuroscience. Research shows introverts have higher baseline arousal in their nervous systems, meaning they reach overstimulation faster. Your brain is already running warm. More noise just turns up the heat. Being alone doesn't make you feel lonely. It makes you feel restored. There's a difference between loneliness and solitude that most people blur together, but you feel it clearly. Loneliness is an ache. Solitude is a breath. The second sign? You think in full essays, not bullet points. When you're alone, your mind doesn't go quiet, it goes deep. Introverts tend to engage the long-term memory and complex association networks of the brain more readily. You'll replay a conversation from 3 days ago, turn it over, find new angles. You sit with ideas the way other people sit with friends. Your inner world is genuinely rich, and you prefer the company of your own thoughts over small talk that goes nowhere. Which brings us to the third sign: small talk feels like eating cardboard. You're not being snobby. You're just genuinely more comfortable when a conversation has some depth to it. You'd rather talk for 2 hours about one real thing than spend 5 hours bouncing between surface-level topics. And in a crowd of chattering voices, you often find yourself going quiet, not because you have nothing to say, but because nothing being said feels worth entering. Fourth, and this is a big one, you have a very small circle, and you love it that way. Research published in the British Journal of Psychology found that introverts, unlike extroverts, don't gain life satisfaction from frequent social interactions. Quality beats quantity every time. You probably have 1, 2, maybe 3 people you feel truly close to, and those relationships run deep. You're not collecting contacts. You're cultivating connection. Fifth sign: you need to mentally prepare for social situations, even ones you're looking forward to. You might spend an hour before a dinner party just sitting quietly, almost like an athlete stretching before a race. That's not anxiety. That's your system getting ready. You're loading up on stillness before you spend it. Surprise you, you do some of your best work in isolation. History is full of introverts who changed the world precisely because they spent so much time alone with their ideas. Darwin developed the theory of evolution during long solitary walks. Kafka wrote at night, alone, in near silence. Einstein famously said his best thinking happened in the shower. When the noise disappears, your mind moves, deeply, freely, and often brilliantly. Seventh sign: you notice everything. Introverts tend to be highly observant, picking up on details others miss, the shift in someone's tone, a small change in the room, the meaning underneath the words. Susan Cain, in her landmark book Quiet, describes this as one of introversion's quiet superpowers. You process the world more thoroughly. You just do it internally, without announcing it. The eighth sign is that you genuinely enjoy your own company. Not tolerate it. Enjoy it. You can spend an entire Saturday alone, reading, walking, cooking, thinking, and feel completely satisfied. You don't need external entertainment to feel alive. You are your own good company. Ninth, your most honest self comes out when you're alone. In social settings, you might feel like you're performing a slightly edited version of yourself. But alone? You relax into who you actually are. Your humor, your weirdness, your depth, it all surfaces naturally. Solitude isn't where you hide. It's where you're most found. And the 10th sign? You feel genuinely puzzled when people say they're bored being alone. To you, boredom in solitude almost doesn't compute. There's always something to think about, something to create, something to feel. The idea of needing constant external stimulation to feel okay seems almost exhausting to you. The world is loud and it rewards loudness. But that doesn't mean quiet is lesser. It means quiet is rarer. And rarer things tend to be more precious. Your love of solitude isn't a wall between you and life. It's the foundation from which you actually build one, thoughtfully, intentionally, and deeply. If this felt like someone finally put words to something you've always known about yourself, drop a comment below. And if you want to understand your own mind a little better each week, you know what to do.